5, and they feel they have realistic hopes at a wild card spot in the upcoming playoffs.
Well, Jimmy Johnson is the key. He is agitated. He's uncomfortable. He's intent. He's troublesome. He didn't want us to see practice. He didn't want to meet with us. But you know something, Dick? He's a winner. He's a winner all the way. I can remember the 12th week of the season, how agitated I was. He's hands-on, and he shakes it till it works.
And if he's going to win today, he'll have to go with his backup quarterback, the former Raider, Steve Berline, as Troy Aikman went down with a knee injury in the Washington win.
I think Berline will be fine. He has the ankle problem, but I think he'll play fine. But Chuck Noll, now here's his hopes. He's got Neil O'Donnell, a young quarterback, and Chuck's been persistent. He has patience. He's really worked at it, but his major problem is he can't get to that last plateau. So today we'll get another look at Neil O'Donnell and see whether he can be the guy that can beat Pittsburgh back to its glory.
The Cowboys will kick it off. The Steelers won the toss. And rookie Jeff Graham from Ohio State, 81 is deep. We're underway on this Thanksgiving Day and Big Day at the 1-yard line. Dwight Stone, the speedster. Oh my, is he cut down by Stan Smagala from Notre Dame. Neil O'Donnell brings the Steeler offense on the field, and they are nicked. The offensive line, Jackson, Ricketts, Dawson, Hasselrig, and the veteran Tunch Hilken. O'Donnell from the University of Maryland has Merrill Hodge, good runner, good receiver. Barry Foster will try to go. He has a bad ankle. Lewis slips, Dwight Stone outside. Rookie Adrian Cooper is the tight end, and they're the men that come in pass situations. They start deep in their own end at the 11. And it's Merrill Hodge, brought down by Ken Norton, the linebacker.
Hodge wanted to bounce outside. The play was designed to go inside, but Hodge saw that Dallas stuffed it with their left defensive end, Jeffcoat. And so when he bounced, all it took was Norton to scrape outside. This is a very interesting defense Dallas plays, Dick. A front four that have to really cover a number of gaps because they stack 3 linebackers behind everybody.
And Norton, the son of the former heavyweight champion, Ken Norton Sr., was the only man between Hodge and a good run, made a solid tackle for a loss. And another one for the Cowboy defense, Tony Casillas, the former Atlanta Falcon.
Right now, not so good for Pittsburgh. On 2 plays, the Dallas front four has really made a difference. Casillas just walks right by Hazelwig to the ball. He wasn't even slowed down.
So 6 yards deficit in 2 running tries by the Steelers, and Jimmy Johnson's defense now will gear up 3rd and long. Chuck Noll will turn 60 January of next year. Only Hodge behind him as they go with 4 wide receivers. O'Donnell draw play, and Hodge breaks 1 tackle, another just to get back to the 4.
That Dallas front four is attacking, and at this point, in these initial stages, the Pittsburgh offensive line is not taking them on physically. They're just walking right through the defense. Now there's a line stunt that gets it right on top of people, and there was no way to pick it up.
That was Russell Maryland, the #1 draft pick, first player selected, that slowed him down, and Robert Williams made the stop, and in to punt for the Steelers, Dan Straczynski. His numbers on the year, and Kelvin Martin Kmart at the 45 of Pittsburgh. Very high kick. Martin, fair catch at the Dallas 49. Excellent kick to get Pittsburgh at least out of the hole. 47 yards, no return for Straczynski, who did his kicking for the Hoosiers of Indiana. Dallas, and here's how they look offensively. Mark Tounier, Kevin Gogan, Mark Stepnoski, John Giesecke, a former Raider, and Nate Newton comes back from an injury. Berline, the quarterback today, first time for him in a Dallas start. Emmitt Smith, one of the top runners in the league. Darrell Johnston is his blocker. They both go out when they have their nickel situation. Alvin Harper and Michael Irvin joined by Agee and by Kelvin Martin. First play goes to Emmitt Smith. And he is to the Pittsburgh 46, a gain of 5. Hardly a steel curtain, this 91 unit, although they were first in defense last year. Wilson, Williams, and Evans, the down linemen. The backers are Hinkle, Nickerson, Little leads in tackles, and Lloyd in big plays. Defensive backfield, David Johnson, one of the game's best corners, Rod Woodson, Carnell Lake, and Thomas Everett at safety, and these extra bodies come in a nickel situation. 2nd and 5. Erline handing off to Smith, trapped in the backfield, no gain as number 57 Gerald Williams slashes in. Played his college ball at Purdue. They've dropped from number 1 in the NFL total defense and pass defense last year, and they're 21st in defense this year. That has Coach No puzzled as he
It really does, because not a lot of injuries, not a lot of people knocked out of there. They've infused some new talent, but the whole thing has either been deciphered by the opposition, or maybe it's just who they've played. But for whatever, the one thing they counted on in the past hasn't been there this year.
Erline on 3rd and 5. You expect to see his first pass of the day, and back he goes. The quickie is complete to the tight end, Rob Awald. First down.
Awald simply ran a quick out pattern, about a 7-yard pattern, breaking outside, man-to-man coverage, and Cornell Lake couldn't make the play. He's fast enough, but he got fooled on the break. Now, Cornell Lake from UCLA is a 4.440, and you see the action. He just takes so severe an inside position that outbreak was going to be there for Awald.
That pleased the Berline. His first throw to Awald, the former Phoenix Cardinal tight end. First down at the 35.
Lake's going to have to be more physical with Awald. He's going to have to stuff him at the line.
Little delay. Emmitt Smith. Oh, he's dangerous. He'll almost come to a complete stop as he does there, and then he'll dart to open territory. He's been brilliant all of his football life. He was a storied high school player in Pensacola when he gained over 8,000 yards. Right as a freshman at the University of Florida, he was a star, played 3 years. He's only 22 years of age.
You know, they wanted him at University of Miami, no question about it. Jim Johnson wanted him, but Miami was a passing team, and Smith said, I want to run from that eye, and I want to run downhill. So Jimmy Johnson knew right from the start it'd be awfully tough to convince him to play a split-back offense.
And he was the leading rusher last year of the rookie runners, 12-0 when he gets 18 carries or more. Berline dumps it off to Smith. He's to the 25, and that's close to a first down.
That was a beautiful job by Steve Berline. Right at the last instant, he comes outside to his flaring back, looking straight up the field. He didn't telegraph the throw, and when he turned and threw it, it came right into that area where you can catch it and run. So Berline's mechanics, he worked with Mike White with the Raiders for over a year, and now coming here with Norv Turner, he's had excellent coaching. His mechanics are outstanding, and that's why he fits into this quick passing system that Norv Turner's installed.
3rd down and 1. Just outside the Pittsburgh 25. First possession of the game. Whoops, Steelers were offside, and Smith is inside the 20-yard line.
Berline got this done against the Redskins last week, Dick. He had them offsides 3 different times, the same kind of situation where the defensive team wants to get after it, wants to explode, to take the line of scrimmage. He just uses his shoulders and his cadence and gets them pulled. Now you can see not a lot of movement, but that snap count with that head bobbing just slightly and that noise or sound inflection gets people coming undone. And they did it against the Redskins the same way.
Red Cashin is our referee today. He's able to work today in home territory from Texas A&M, and his home a couple of hours from here in Bryan, Texas.
So you can anticipate Berline whenever he feels short yardage or a blitz coming, he'll play around with that snap count and give people problems.
They take Emmett's run to the 19. Good pump fake. Wide open is Irvin off his fingertips. Michael Irvin, who leads the Cowboys with 65 catches and leads the NFL. He's the first receiver over 1,000 yards.
Did they go for it? Irvin started a slant move there and now right back outside. And Woodson wanted to make a play inside. He wanted to cut off the slant, and it's just overthrown by inches. And Berline did a fine job of pumping, then throwing down the field.
Well, what you've got to like about Irvin, and there's Berline's numbers against the Redskins, 4 of his passes to Irvin, including a touchdown. That Irvin is competitive and cocky and confident, and he went after Darrell Green, one of the game's best, and this week he's going one-on-one against Woodson.
Well, his size helps. He's 6'3".
2nd and 10, Emmitt Smith. Carnell Lake hit him first, and then secured by Thomas Everett. Gain of 4, 3rd down and 6, and the Steelers mass substitution, bring in 4 new men.
Now, Darrell Johnston is a wonderful blocking fullback, and he's really like a guard. He'll come right into that hole and cut his man down. He got Nickerson down, and then the ball was able to slip right by. So throughout the day, we'll see Darrell Johnston leading the play. And if he's not leading it, everybody has to go to him because his blocking's there. Then the ball carrier, in this case Smith, will cut away from him. So he's a major factor, although he really never carries the ball himself.
Had the ball for nearly 6 minutes on this opening drive of the game. 9th play, 3rd and 6. Wide open again. Irvin struggles inside the 10. It looks as if he might be shy by about a foot. David Johnson saved the first down. Last week against the Redskins, Johnson very aggressive on 4th down. We'll see if he goes for the field goal or tries for it on 4th and 1.
Well, as you might guess, the strategy last week was to do something to nullify that Redskin momentum. So he took his shots. He took his chances. I'm not sure he'll do that today. I honestly feel Johnson feels he has a superior team, so he'll be much more conservative.
You want the 3, almost a certain 3, or do you go for it? They're going to please the crowd here in Irving, Texas. Going to try on 4th and a foot.
Well, I would kick, but that doesn't mean they won't make it. But I would kick here because Pittsburgh's not going to do a lot of scoring today. You want to get points on the board.
Johnson rolling the dice, going for a possible 7, ignoring an almost certain 3.
Well, at Pittsburgh, you're going to count on them attacking, and this is where Berline can use that snap count again, Dick. He can get that defense really out of control by just using that head bob and that snap count.
Emmitt Smith in the tail, and here he comes. First down and more. First and goal at the 5.
Darrell Johnston led the play. Smith followed him, then just jumped outside. You see Johnson going in. The play's designed it, but now Smith will bounce it. Everybody's focusing inside on following that fullback in there, and Smith bounces outside.
Jimmy Johnson, his 3rd year, 48, of course, a great career at the University of Miami, where his Hurricanes won a national championship and were 2nd in a run from 86, 87, 88, never lower than 2nd in 3 years. Smith, big hole! Touchdown! His 10th rushing touchdown of the season.
You have to give a lot of credit to the up-front people. You've got Jessic Williams and Stepnoski. They did a fine job of sustaining their block, so there's a lot of running room. Surprisingly, at this point on the field, Pittsburgh really didn't attack and focus inside.
Try for point now from Ken Willis, free agent from Kentucky, won a job last year. Jay Novacek, although injured, the tight end, will be the holder. Willis drills it through, and timeout. 6:58 left in the opening period. Dallas scores on its first try. High, a spinner inside the 5 to Dwight Stone. Boy, those Cowboys get down there in a hurry. Stone using his speed just to get to the 15-yard line, where Robert Williams makes another tackle. Let's see if the Steelers do better this time. We got a timeout. A football shrine with a hole in the roof, part of the Tex Schramm era. Beautiful Texas Stadium. 75 degrees on this Thanksgiving Day. The Steelers start from their 16, trailing 7-0. O'Donnell to the sidelines to Lewis Lips, and Lips several times an All-Pro gets it to the 22-yard line.
Lips has been really a steady football player, a steadying influence on the ball club. As a rookie, he was in the Pro Bowl. As a rookie, he was 19.1 yards per catch and 9 touchdowns. So right from the start, this guy's been a star in Pittsburgh. Of course, he's quite an entrepreneur too, right, Dick?
That's right. He owns everything from funeral homes to a cookie business.
Got the daycare center.
41 catches now. That equals Eric Green's 41. Green, a big tight end, out for the season with a broken ankle. Merrill Hodge plowing to the 25.
A little scary right now for Pittsburgh, and I'll tell you why. Dallas is just beating Pittsburgh to the punch all across the field. On the kickoffs, everything they do, they're beating Pittsburgh to the punch and making contact before Pittsburgh's ready for it. And it's just that attacking style of football, and Pittsburgh is not playing as physical as you'd expect a Chuck Noll team. And of course, there's plenty of time, and a couple of big plays might turn that whole emotional factor around.
3rd down and 1 from the 25. Mix up, and part of that good defensive charge from the Cowboys.
I'm not sure it was a mix-up. It could very well have been a quarterback sneak, faking left and coming back. But one way or the other, the people inside, Casillas and Maryland, just dominate that inside factor. Look at this pressure up inside. There's nowhere to run. And Del Rio is right on top of the center. And very, very fortunate if they made it.
I guess they did. That's the signal from Red Cash. And, well, that's a little variation off the quarterback sneak, and in between a sneak and a quarterback draw, a little false snap.
Right, they wanted Jack Del Rio to get moving with a fullback and then not be a factor, but Del Rio just didn't buy it.
1 yard was enough. 1st down. There's Del Rio, drafted by the Saints back in 1985 out of Southern California. He leads Dallas in tackles.
Trouble.
Hit by Russell Maryland. He's really coming into his own, and veteran Jim Jeffcoat. Maryland, they call him the conscience because of his terrific work ethic. First player picked in the draft last year after his Outland Trophy year with the Canes. As self-described as a fat kid from Chicago, going all the way to the #1 NFL pick. He was about a 330-pound high school senior and got 60 pounds in his freshman year at Miami.
Well, you know, he was the last player recruited. The last scholarship went to Russell, Maryland. They thought, why not give him a chance? But then the drills they ran, he had the stamina of the lighter, more physically equipped people.
O'Donnell guns it to his tight end, complete. Adrian Cooper from Oklahoma. Cooper and Cash now playing. Actually, Chuck Noll is down to his 3rd and 4th tight ends. Of course, Eric Green, a potential All-Pro, and then Mike Mularkey, he's not suited up today.
Cooper's just going to run a hooking pattern, and the ball's going to be there before anybody can really respond. You've got to hold the ball in that situation because people were after him.
The Steelers hoping they've latched on to another Keith Jackson. Cooper caught the ball very little in the Oklahoma offense. He's a 4th-round draft pick. He caught only 13 passes as a senior, and he has 6 with that one today here in the NFL in his first year.
Well, he's thrust into a lot of playing time. I'm sure he didn't really expect this with Green and Mularkey and some of the other guys available.
Hodge caught in the backfield by Jim Jeffcoat. Hodge is in the minus pool in this first quarter.
You know, Hodge is making a brave effort, no question about it. He's got strength and he's got stamina. Is he going to need it? 5 carries, 2 yards.
Minus 2.
Minus 2.
So on 3rd and 1, the Steelers fail and end to punt. Dan Trzynski. Kelvin Martin back at the Dallas 27.
Beating him to the punch. It's that simple.
Ooh, high snap. And he eats it at the 16 as Robert Williams makes another play.
Robert Williams explodes. He doesn't give Trzynski a chance. There's a high snap. He takes his eye off the ball, but Dallas is attacking. And any mistake, any hesitance, and it blows up in Pittsburgh's face. Now, this is a matter of being just a little bit preoccupied with who might block it instead of catching the ball.
Dermontti Dawson, the center, a bit too tall for Trzynski, and the Cowboys with the first break of the game, already leading 7-0 with 2:42 left in the opening period. Oops, before the snap, it was Gerald Williams into the center. The Steelers' nose guard. Was he drawn offside?
Well, it's that cadence that Berline's using is going to really disrupt Pittsburgh until they get used to it.
Now the Steelers are applauding, but it's against them.
Yep.
Encroachment by the nose tackle. 5 yards, still first down.
Nothing going right for Knoll in this first period, and that's been the story of the Steelers season. They've scored only a touchdown in one game's first quarter all year. They've been starting in the hole.
Was it 11 out of 12 without a touchdown?
1st and 5. Smith caught in the backfield as slashing in was Carnell Lake, who was a 3-time all Pac-10 linebacker and then moved to strong safety by the Steelers after they picked him in the 2nd round 3 years ago.
Lake's an excellent athlete. He's a sprinter as well as being very physical. And he's one guy that I so wish we'd have drafted when I was with the 49ers, because he has really everything, but he's lacked somewhat the instincts of the player down the field, playing the ball in the air. But as far as the physical part of the game and his explosive quickness, they really took advantage of it there. It was just a safety blitz. Nobody could block him, and he made the play.
Loss of 3. Berline in trouble, and down he goes as number 54. Hardy Nickerson from California, the first to make the hit. The hardware man.
Brought extra people. Now Nickerson's going to blitz inside, right up over the ball, and he's just too physical. That time Emmitt Smith just didn't pay the price to block him. But Dick, this really concerns me. When Berline is being shoved down and driven into the ground, that ankle takes the wrong angle, and he could be out of the ball game. That's the scary part. He's got to get rid of the ball prematurely if necessary. Because with his ankle and one major twist, Jimmy Johnson could be looking at real trouble.
3rd down and 15 for Berline. Sends Kelvin Martin in motion. Pressure again, and Berline goes down at the 28-yard line. Gerald Williams, his 5th sack of the season.
Look at number 57 coming from the outside, then an inside line stunt. And this is what really gave Dallas trouble last week against the Redskins. The line stunts, the Dallas offensive line, where the defensive lineman cross or angle, has really given Dallas trouble. And it was evident last week and this week again. They're just not picking up people quickly enough, aren't as physical as they should be.
45-yard field goal by Ken Willis.
It's a young offensive line, but they're going to certainly have to protect the quarterback better.
He's got the depth, but it's wide to the right, no good. So the Steelers dodge a bullet after the high snap on the punt that gave the Cowboys position at the 16, but 2 sacks by the pulled away, couldn't draw it back through, and that, of course, pleased the Steeler defense, who did a good job in pushing the Cowboys back, and, of course, did not please the headmaster here in Dallas. At the 28-yard line, O'Donnell and the Steelers go to work in the final minute of this first quarter, and Russell Maryland is in the mess again, along with Jack Del Rio, as the Steelers not showing any running game against this Dallas defense.
Well, anytime Pittsburgh is going to pull a guard or a tackle, anyone like that, Dallas is penetrating to the point they're there before the ball carrier gets there. So it's an attacking Dallas defense with their front four, and Pittsburgh not playing physical enough up front. Both offensive lines you put them in the middle of the league, because neither can play real physical football at this point in their development.
8 carries for the Steelers rushing game, a -6 yards. 2nd down and long. O'Donnell just does get it away. Had a man close enough to White Stone. Had to dump it.
Now that is what you call pressure. Everybody coming up the field. And Russell Maryland, you know, he played 6 games for Dallas and he had 1 tackle. The newspapers questioning the choice. Everybody wondering what they drafted. But finally, he's conditioned himself. He knows the game better. And of course, Casillas next to him and Jeff Goat next to him. He's learning the game of pro football. They're just turning him loose, Dick.
quite a distinguished honor. He's only the 4th defensive lineman ever picked first in the draft. Buck Buchanan, Bubba Smith, Kenneth Sims, and Russell Maryland. 3rd and 11.
Look out.
Got a man open, Stone, who came back to meet the ball right at the yardsticks. It'll be close to a first down at the 38. Isaac Holt covering for Dallas.
Casillas right down the middle, basically unblocked, and it took O'Donnell to move, then throw, and that's why that ball was barely caught in bounds, because the timing was disrupted because the quarterback had to move before he threw it. And that's a good concentration. Got it done.
Feet in. Now they'll measure for the first down.
Boy, do they need this first down.
Stops the clock with 8 seconds left in this quarter, probably the last play, as they'll wind it as soon as the measurement is taken.
You don't think Joe Walton, the offensive coordinator for Pittsburgh, his mind is turning now, trying to figure out what to go to next? Everything's blowing up in their face, and it takes a big play outside just to get a first down. So I'm sure that Joe is really trying to figure how he's going to cope with this defense that's just attacking and ripping.
Joe Walton with a holiday look that had on forward, not backwards today. He's got that pitcher's look.
He doesn't realize it's on forward. He doesn't realize it. He'll figure it out at halftime.
And there is the final tick. The first quarter has expired, and it's the Cowboys 7, the Steelers nothing.
Blitz here, both inside linebackers blitzing and people coming outside. Now look at what happens as O'Donnell wants to throw the ball. He's got everybody after him, and he wasn't prepared to throw the ball quickly. He didn't see the blitz coming.
That was the play before the one that ended the quarter with a first down. O'Donnell dumps it into the flat. It's number 42, Warren Williams, who played for Jimmy Johnson at Miami of Florida. In his 4th year with the Steelers, picks up a few. Tony Tolbert and Vincent Smith collaborate on the tackle.
Smith's the best open field tackler on the team. No question about it. He's very, very quick and agile in the open field. The balance of the defense is good. They don't have all the talent they need to be a great defense, but the intensity of their play, I think that's the critical factor in Dallas's improvement.
Well, their defense in the last 17 games, in only 2 games have they allowed more than 2 touchdowns. That speaks well of Jimmy Johnson's scheme. 2nd and 8. O'Donnell incomplete to the tight end Keith Cash. 7th round pick by the Skins this year, Cash, and O'Donnell goes down as he throws.
O'Donnell is tough, as you know, and he's certainly confident. Visiting with him last night, he sits there and he talks to you, look you right in the eye. He can bench press 405 pounds, so he's strong, he's physical, he's got confidence, but boy, is it being tested today. And he's having to account for 2 or 3 bodies coming by as he looks for his receivers.
Casillas a little late on that tackle. The ball clearly had been delivered.
Well, right now, Pittsburgh is running a lot of more complicated blocking patterns to fake the run and then throw, and it's just not going to work against this attacking defense.
A fake and then a long throw. Incomplete. Jeff Graham, the rookie from Ohio State, just a half stride short as Ike Holt was on the coverage.
Now that's a curious call. They faked a reverse play, the quarterback did, and then threw the ball up the field. But there isn't any way that Isaac Holt's going to be worrying about a reverse. He's in bump and run coverage. He's just looking at the receiver. So the fake meant nothing. So on 3rd and 10 against man-to-man, it really wasn't the appropriate call. No question about it. Should have been a 1st and 10 play, fake something, then throw the ball.
Straczynski's first punt, a good one. He didn't get the second one off on a high snap. This one's okay. Wobbly, short kick. Martin, no fair catch. Oh, was he drilled? Carnell Lake with a running start, and Martin sacrificing. Even though the kick was short, he figured maybe he could elude that first man. Dallas gets it at the 28-yard line.
Look at Lake. Ooh.
That'll make you go for dentistry. From Irving, Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead the Steelers 7-0. Early in the 2nd quarter, Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. Ball at the 29 of Dallas as Steve Berline goes to work.
Excellent fake.
Play action, and there's the throw to Irvin, who has the first down at the 41-yard line.
Now, Berline was unhappy with himself because Irvin had to reach way low to get that ball. He wanted Irvin to be able to run with it after the catch. But excellent fake. Now, this is very, very good coaching. Nice fake. Look at the timing and the feet of Berline. That ball's right on the line, but you see how low and away it is. Irvin really didn't have anywhere to go once he caught it. Bursting, planning, balls in the air. Very well done.
First catch today. He was a #1 pick out of Miami. He lived in Miami where he starred and set all the receiving records for the Canes. Now Emmitt Smith. He gets about 8 yards on first down out to the 48-49. A reminder at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be presenting the Yavis We Try Harder Award given to the game's most valuable player.
Excellent fire-out blocking, man blocking, and at the conclusion of the play, you'll see a clean shot right up the field. Thomas Everett had better make that stop, number 27. 183-pound guy from Baylor, and he had to make the play. You don't want that to happen very often.
All the rushing yards belonging to Emmitt Smith, halfway to his 18 carries. That mark for Dallas success, and a rare attempt to run by Darrell Johnston, and he gets nothing. His 14th rushing try all season, this young guy from Syracuse.
You know, they go wherever he does because typically he's leading the play to block. So if you give them the ball, they're going to be there anyway. They're going to go after Johnston. They know that Emmitt Smith's going to be right behind him.
No one blocked Gerald Williams, so it's 3rd and 2. Earlier today, the Lions defeated the Bears 16-6 at the Silverdome, and they move into a first-place tie in the NFC Central, 9-4 each. And in the rivalry of the state of Pennsylvania, the Nittany Lions defeated the Panthers 32-20. Fiesta Bowl bound, Penn State, where they'll meet Tennessee here on NBC. Emmitt Smith to the 50 and then pushed back. The spot is inside the 50, Steeler territory. Hardy Nickerson and David Little shoulder to shoulder to push back Smith.
Pittsburgh's playing that 3-4 defense that you don't see that often anymore in the NFL. So many teams are going to a overshift, undershift, 4-man line. But David Little and Hardy Nickerson are physical enough that Chuck Knowles feels they can stand in against those offensive guards and make that defense work. And it happened there. They took on the guards and did a fine job.
Looks as if they're about a half-yard short. In fact, Jimmy Johnson's already sent Mike Saxon and the punting team on, but Brett Cashin has called for a measurement. Saxon, who is one of the most successful punters in the league and has been for several years now, inside the 20, and this will be another opportunity for him. As you can see clearly, not close enough for a first down. Donates $100 each time he is successful inside the 20. Has 11 this year. He's never had less than 19.
You know, Dick, once you go for it on 4th down, you whet the appetite. You whet the appetite of the fans, and so at this point, the fans, every time there's a 4th down, are going to want to go for it.
Those are thank you notes from the Dallas Children's Medical Center that he helped support, wishing him a happy Thanksgiving. They even serenaded him in the Dallas locker room a couple of days ago. So Saxon giving back the spirit of this holiday. And over end, they'll let it bounce. And it takes a nice backward roll, and he has his 12th kick inside the 20. They'll down it inside the 15-yard line. Bill Bates was the Cowboy there first. Timeout. Thank you is a powerful word or 2 words. Thank you. It carries a lot of strength. And I hope all of you are taking time to thank someone you love on this day. Barry Foster tried to go. Bad ankle. Was in the first series. Appears he's out for the day. Warren Williams takes over at running back, and Williams gets the call and breaks into the clear. He's out to the 30-yard line and a first down. The biggest play on the ground for the Steelers today, 16 yards.
That was an age-old power play. Typically, they call that a 16 power. The backside guard and tackle is going to pull, and the fullback, in this case Johnson, was going to kick out, and it was extremely well blocked by Williams and Roberts at the point of attack. So this is really the first well-executed play that we've seen people come up with.
Del Rio up on top makes the hit, and down underneath was 57 Vincent Smith.
Del Rio's really found a home because I was wondering if he'd ever really make it physically, but this middle linebacker spot in that Dallas defense has really been a factor for him. He's been able to be unblocked and go to the ball, and at 240 pounds, he makes the single tackle.
He and Dwayne Bickett were operating side by side as collegians with the Trojans of Southern California. Bickett, the #1 pick of the Colts. Second down, 7.
Ooh, a blitz.
O'Donnell to Lips, and Lips pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line by rookie Larry Brown.
O'Donnell is being tested. Gee, they came after him that time, and people were picked up just at the last instance. Merrill Hodge was able to pick up just at the last instance. Notice Warren Williams in the game. Nice job coming right up underneath and making the stop. Well, that's a real test for a running back. All the good things happen with the ball, but when you don't have it, you take on the linebacker that way. It's tough when you get that big running start.
7-0 Dallas. 9:26 left in this first half. First down call to Warren Williams, and flags go down as Vincent Smith makes another tackle, number 57, along with Del Rio. Smith, who plays with a heavy heart, a week ago his mother passed away, and his grandmother, hearing the news, had a heart attack. He had to leave the Dallas team, came back just in time for the Washington game.
77 on the offense, 10 yards, still first down.
And played remarkably well, said Jimmy Johnson. And hold by Hazelrig, and he knows how to hold because that was his talent as a collegiate. He went to Pittsburgh Johnstown, where he competed in the NCAA heavyweight wrestling, both in Division I and Division II, and won 3 national championships in each. He was 6 times the top heavyweight wrestler in the nation.
Think of having a record of 143, 2-1. 2 losses, 143 wrestling wins.
O'Donnell, good play fake. Screen, and it's set up beautifully. Warren Williams. Boy, what a job by Vincent Smith to fight off 2 blockers. He allowed the Steelers 10 yards when it appeared they might have a big gainer.
That time O'Donnell was going to fake the counter play away. It was very well done. We've seen it in the films before. If they pick just the right time to make it work. Now the center is going to come out on the screen. But watch these people faking this way with the ball. Now you'll come out on the screen, but you get the center and the back outside. Very well done, but it takes a little bit of poise on the part of the quarterback. He has an unblocked man, but look at the blocking out in front. Very well done. Those kind of things are good once a game, and that was a critical time to call.
They got the 10 yards back from the holding call.
Look out.
Almost intercepted by Isaac Holt. He leads the Cowboys with 4. That would have been good for 6 points.
Well, Neil O'Donnell looked right and threw right. And the last thing the quarterback wants to do, being right-handed, is look right. You see the jump on the ball. Isaac Holt had a big jump on a ball that sort of fluttered. You just can't look to that right side, Dick, and throw to that right side. Those defensive backs are on the move when that ball's thrown.
Bill, we want to remind folks to stay tuned for the Domino's Pizza halftime report. A special Thanksgiving feature, Gail Gardner visiting with Denver rookie Kenny Walker. You know, he's that deaf defensive linebacker. It's a beautiful story. Join Bob Costas, O.J. Will, Bill Parcells. Halftime with the other highlights of this day. Down the middle, almost deflected into the hands of the Cowboys. This time, it was number 37, James Washington.
Well, Stone and Lips were right together down the field. And again, it was a play pass on 3rd down. You see the fake, and you see people crossing. But on a 3rd down, the defensive people don't play for the play pass. They're looking for the forward pass. So the fake, they've done that twice now. The fake on 3rd down, I'm not sure. They must have seen something that Dallas does to call those kinds of plays in those kinds of situations.
Calvin Martin, who took a mighty lick the last time he failed to call a fair catch, is inside the 20 as Krasinski. Almost another one. And down he goes at the 27. That's 2 times the Steelers have gotten a tall snap from Dermontti Dawson.
What do you say? That ball is towering. That's 2 of them. You'd think on the sideline you'd work that out, or the center could make an adjustment. You just can't have the fate of your teammates in your hands and do that kind of thing. Just can't be done.
The first time the Cowboys got the ball at the Steelers 16, but a couple of sacks by the Steeler defense forced Dallas back, and eventually Ken Willis missed from 45 yards. They get another chance now.
Now, DeMonte was looking to block quickly. Conceivably, he was more worried about picking up somebody that was rushing than snapping the ball accurately. No excuse.
Another golden opportunity for Dallas, leading 7-0. Burline to throw. Complete to Irvin, his second catch today. First down at the Pittsburgh 15.
Just a square out pattern. Irvin's going to go 12 yards. Crossover. There he goes. The ball's in the air. The ball's caught. Now, you rarely have a Steve Burline that can come in without playing for over a season and throw the ball with this accuracy and with this poise.
David Johnson turned around by Irvin's quick feet. First down at the 15, a 12-yard play. Irvin right. The rookie from Tennessee, Harper left, and they stay on the ground. To the 10-yard line goes Emmitt Smith.
Now, Smith just attacks that line of scrimmage like the entire Dallas team attacks. He just explodes and hopes something there when he gets there. And his body lean just breaks tackles and blockers. It's just an attacking team, and it reminds me so much of that San Francisco team of 1981. So similar. Even in the sense the coaching style is so similar.
Again it's Smith. Big hole. First and goal at the 3-yard line. Rod Woodson came over from a corner to save a touchdown.
In this case, Smith is going to cut back, and he's just getting running room. He's going to start to his right. The play's designed right, but you see him cut back. And in this case, David Little just simply did not get off a blocker. He was there with his hands on the blocker and never left the blocker to make the play.
Smith with 46 yards. He starts this week 3rd in NFL rushing, well over 1,000. It's first and goal at the 2. That's Walsh, the tight end in motion. Smith, Woodson can't bring him down, and then the other corner, David Johnson, bumps him out of bounds.
That was well done by Woodson. He attacked the line of scrimmage. He blitzed from the outside and cut off that angle that could end up in a score. He just couldn't get the sack or the tackle.
Smith lunging forward to the 1-yard line. They spot it.
Speaking of Woodson, over 100. Well, I don't know what his total contract is, but he makes over $1 million a year at this point. Highest paid Steeler ever, including all the great ones. Of course, times have changed. But over $1 million, highest paid defensive back in the league.
On second and goal, Smith. Is he in? Very close. Now they're going to spot it just outside the goal line. 3rd and inches as David Little able to make the tackle, number 50.
Well, it's awfully close. Smith has a chance, but the backside of it was where the problem was. He just couldn't cut back. Good attacking by the linebackers.
57, Gerald Williams, the last line of defense for Pittsburgh. That much for a 14-0 lead.
You have to assume that Emmitt Smith will simply go right up over the top and make it.
Gerald Williams again, the 3rd-year man from Purdue, denies. And what does Jimmy Johnson do here?
That wasn't the time to start sliding outside. The previous play, we saw Woodson coming up the field on a blitz. If Smith had gone up over the top, he'd have had it. Just the wrong decision for that situation on the field. Now you see, he should have gone right up over the top there. Instead, he bent outside, right into Woodson again.
So Willis tries, well, actually shorter than an extra point, 18 yards. Novacek to hold. And it's 10-0. So out of 2 bad snaps, Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys managed only 3 points. Texas Stadium, the Cowboys now have a 10-0 lead, and they've done a great job covering kickoffs. One of the reasons, number 29, Kenneth Gant, they kind of swing him, give him a running start, and the last 2 times Gant has come right down the middle after Dwight Stone or Jeff Graham. Here he comes, right behind the kicker, straight down the field. And it goes out of bounds, so it won't matter this time, although he was the first guy downfield, as Pittsburgh will take it at the 35-yard line.
Well, this is a break for Pittsburgh to get that ball on the 35-yard line. Otherwise, they couldn't have done anything. Timeout
with 4:06 left in the half. In the AFC West. 12:30 Sunday at the game. From the 35, Pittsburgh trailing 10-0. 4 minutes left in the half. Downfield to Stone. Knocked away brilliantly by Ike Holt. This veteran acquired from the Vikings in the Herschel Walker trade makes another solid play.
Holt just played the ball beautifully. Just a quick post. Watch him go right to the ball as it gets there. Very, very well done. You know, Holt spent as much value to the Dallas team as the trade that sent Walker all the way up to Minnesota. This guy has really helped this team. Aside from the draft choices, that was a miracle trade of all time. How Dallas made that trade and came away with so much.
And still draft choices to spend. They have 2 firsts, a couple of seconds, a couple of thirds next year. O'Donnell to the sidelines. Caught by Jeff Graham. I don't think he got that second foot down.
No, the ball was too far outside. It was there, and it was a play pass again. Didn't quite get it done. There's a play pass again on a situation like that. It was a good call, but the throw was there too late. He just threw the ball too late.
4 consecutive incomplete passes for the steel-eyed Neil O'Donnell.
Here's a guy that, family-wise, 4 brothers that played college football.
He was the youngest of 9 children. He said, boy, Thanksgiving Day was football and a big, big feast. Dad had to go to Pennsylvania sometimes to get a 40-pounder, he said, to bring back to New Jersey. O'Donnell calls a timeout with 3:56 left in the half. When we return, the Steelers looking at 3rd and 10. The Steelers to back-to-back 9 and 7 seasons, had a knee injury, and then that Monday night game against the Giants, sluggish offense, and Neil O'Donnell inserted, almost rallied the Steelers to a big comeback win. No controversy here. They're good buddies. O'Donnell on 3rd and 10, looking for something big to Jeff Graham, but it's out of bounds. He pushed off on Holt. That could be against the Steelers anyway, although the pass incomplete.
O'Donnell just reared back and threw that ball as far as he could. No question about it. Almost a desperation kind of play. You can see that Holt's in excellent position all the way. And there's a little pushing and shoving there. I don't think it had any effect on the play at all. You'd hate to see that called. But one way or the other, just a desperation pass on 3rd and 10. Over 3 minutes left in the half. You'd wonder why they need to do those kinds of things. Holt's been there every time they've looked over there. He's been in good coverage.
Well, nothing really has worked too well, has it, for Pittsburgh?
There's no foul. The ball was not catchable. The flag is being picked up. Be 4th down.
No matter how that's sorted out, Pittsburgh was going to have to punt.
Well, let's look at the snap this time, Dick. Let's see if we can watch right from the start.
Boy, Dermontti Dawson.
Dawson does it.
Now, maybe the Cowboys are putting some extra pressure on him on that snap. Let's see what they do. They have a man lined up right over his nose, as you would expect.
Well, now they know. Now they're going to really come after it just to shake people up.
Straczynski, I wonder he didn't drag a stepladder out there with him. This one's on the money. And he gets away a very high dying spiral. Martin at the 27 and dives to the 32. 38 yards on the punt and a 5-yard return, and Dawson breathes a little easier. Well, tonight on this Thanksgiving Thursday, we hope you'll join us. Always a big Thursday on NBC with a Cosby Show in the leadoff spot, followed by A Different World and Cheers, Wings, LA Law. I know many of those shows your favorites. We hope you enjoy them again tonight. Halftime. The story of Kenny Walker from University of Nebraska, the rookie linebacker with the Broncos, playing big-time football with a handicap of not being able to hear. An intriguing and touching story I think you'll enjoy. First down, Dallas leading 10-0. 3:40 remaining before halftime. Play action by Berline. He goes deep. And Alvin Harper well covered by David Johnson. Harper,
nobody in the middle, Dick. The streak safety was not there, and they must have felt he wouldn't be there because on first down they sent one receiver down the field basically. It's a full play fake inside right here, and just one receiver bending down the field with a safety leaving the field. So now you'll see the good play fake. Nice job by Berline. Just a single man down the field, and is that a dangerous concept unless you're blitzing everybody?
David Johnson, who played at Kentucky on the corner, covered well enough. 2nd and 10. Good screen on the flat, or actually a swing to Smith. Oh, is he clever?
Nicely thrown, but Smith's moves on David Johnson. The ball is thrown so Smith could run with it, but look at these quick moves. And other people are sort of waiting and not attacking that ball when it's thrown. It's tough to leave one guy out there with a guy like Smith.
43 catches, leading NFL running backs, and he's into this game with 1,107 yards rushing, trailing only Thurman Thomas of Buffalo and Barry Sanders of Detroit. And with that move and still another kind of talent, great feat that you might see on a Broadway stage and have the crowd out of its chairs applauding. Emmitt Smith.
I understand his dad had the quick feet too. Emmitt the second. This Emmitt the third. But his dad played semi-pro football all the way to nearly 40 years of age. And he's the guy that sort of inspired Emmitt the third to be a football player.
What a player he is. On first down. Berline down the middle. Michael Irvin at the 40-yard line. First down. Pittsburgh territory. And there's Pearl Irvin cheering her son today. Here from Fort Lauderdale. And his lovely wife Sandy, who was a former Miami Dolphin cheerleader, and her heart now belongs with the Cowboys. I talked with Mom of Pearl yesterday, and I asked her about Thanksgiving dinner, and she said they had such a big family, 17 in the family, and Michael's 15th of 17. Said they loved their desserts. She had to do potato pie and pumpkin pie and cherry cobbler. And Berline. Harper goes down. He was pushed down apparently by Rod Woodson.
Woodson had to make that move because it was a double move, and Woodson wasn't going to make the coverage. So he had to sort of grab Harper and hoping no one saw that. So the double move will almost happen. You'll see it right here. And they move to the outside, and Woodson sort of caught. Now see him coming forward. He knows he's in trouble. He's got to slow it all down.
They bid on that pump fake, and he was looking for a possible interception, made his move forward. Good job. And again, for Berline, relatively inexperienced in this Dallas offense. I mean, he's been here, but he hadn't played much until last week against Washington, and yet the coordination and the articulation between himself and his receivers is as if they'd been around 3-4 years. Troy Aikman, the injured quarterback on the sidelines. Emmitt Smith, he's putting some pain on that Steeler defense down to the 28-yard line, and the 2-minute warning coming up.
Smith wanted to go outside. They cut it off. He just broke it back. And the way he attacks the line of scrimmage, it's full bore. He lowers his shoulders and just attacks the line of scrimmage.
Timeout. Cowboys looking for more. They win the Sunday before, which they did. You see the timeouts remaining, upsetting the Redskins on Sunday. Their record is tremendous. And then with a layoff for 10-11 days before their next game, traditionally they've been very strong coming out of the holiday. Emmitt Smith to the 26. It'll be very close to a first down. David Little and Rob McGovern just activated by the Steelers, making the tackle.
You have to give some credit to Darrell Johnston, the leading blocker on all of these plays at fullback. He's 235-pounder from Syracuse, and that's the job he had there. And he's much like Tom Rathman of the 49ers. Rathman handles the ball more. He's more of a receiver. But that physical blocker, the guy with stamina and strength, can really make a running game.
He's 6'2" and 236, third and less than a yard. Smith trying to go outside again, and it doesn't work. Carnell Lake was there.
Smith's not keeping track of the situation to bounce a play. In both of these situations, we saw it on the goal line. We've seen it in short yardage. He'll bounce a play, and there'll be a defensive back sitting out there that's blitzing. It just cuts it right off. So he's got to be schooled better in that area.
So 4th down and 5. One would think the field goal unit would come on. Willis has the leg. It would be about a 47, 48-yard try, but apparently, well, they're going to let that clock run down. The Steelers are not going to call time. And Jimmy Johnson just figuring no matter what he does here, and it must be that he's going to bring in the field goal unit, he wants to burn off all the time he can so that and then they use the timeout so that Pittsburgh will have a limited chance to come back after the field goal attempt. And Willis and the field goal team is on first this timeout. Willis trying a 47-yard attempt. He missed from 45, hit a short one, 18. This for a 13-0 lead. Blocked and picked up by the Steelers at the 40-yard line, and that very nearly picked up for a touchdown because Keith Willis, number 93, had an open field ahead but wanted to make sure he had the ball first. So that the first break for Pittsburgh today, but they have only 27 seconds to try to take advantage of it.
I think 95 inside made the block, and all it was one hand went up and stopped the play. You'll see it right here. That's the block. But now on the right side, excuse me, on our left, you'll see that Smith is in position to pick the ball up, and he almost gets it done. It's Willis, almost the ball bouncing to him to get it done.
I think it was Gerald Williams, 57, as O'Donnell gets it off to his tight end, and Adrian Cooper is into Dallas territory, and this is the deepest penetration by the Pittsburgh offense today. 11 yards on the play, and timeout called. 16 seconds left in the half as O'Donnell and the Steelers hoping to at least get a field goal try out of it.
And for those kind of things, he's really upset.
Time running out in the half as O'Donnell is it a good catch? What a try. That's Lewis Lips. Did he get his hands? They're marking it a catch, and now someone else comes in and says no catch. Well, or are they? They said no good, and then they marked the ball at the 32.
If Lips could have only caught that ball running. Now, it looks like he got it. But if he only could have caught it running, I'd assume there'll be a replay. Now he'll break into the middle of the field. No one there. No one there. Catching that ball on the run, you could have seen he'd have really done some damage. But it looks like he at least made the catch.
Boy, what an effort. Boy, it looks like he gets his hands underneath it. It caroms up into his body from that angle. But
the ball comes up off the ground. He made the catch. I don't think there's any. That's refutable.
Will the timer preset the clock to 11 seconds?
They're going to put another 5 seconds back on the clock for 11. No indication that it's being reviewed
Why
yet.
Wouldn't this be reviewed? He caught the ball.
Well, they ruled that he didn't catch it. Chuck Knoll and Dick Hoke, one of his assistants there. John Kolb on the sidelines.
Those are the tough ones. When they see this film, the coaches the next day.
Yes.
And what a critical factor for the game. No review.
Oh, that's surprising.
That's surprising.
So, 11 seconds, time for one more play, and then if successful, a field goal attempt, but they need some yardage, Pittsburgh. Now they're going to throw it up and hope for a lucky bounce. And it was knocked away incomplete inside the 10 with 4 seconds remaining.
I've never seen that play have so much success, that Hail Mary play. This year, how many times a week ago, Dallas got away with a big play.
Yes, Alvin Harper, who can high jump 7'2", just leaped above the crowd in Washington, D.C. to take a touchdown into the locker room just before halftime in exactly the same situation.
It's really tough if you can't get the ball into the end zone. You see, even if Pittsburgh were to have completed the pass, it would have been tough to do much with, other than a penalty of some kind.
Last play unless penalty of the half. O'Donnell lofts it high. And it's knocked away. Boy, they had a chance. Jeff Graham had his hands on it. Ike Holt stuck that left paw in there and broke it up. End of the first half. A stifling Dallas defense.
Tight play. He's got his chance.
And so at the intermission, it is 10-0 Dallas Cowboys. Stay tuned. The special feature, all today's highlights on the Domino Pizza halftime report.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
Okay, Bob, Will, and Bill. OJ's been given the rest of the day off. What do you think of the first half?
Well, quite obviously, Dallas has taken the emotion from their Washington win last week at RFK and brought it right down to Dallas. They started this game. They were fired up. Their special team set the pace. Had a little problem with the field goal game, but they're playing very, very well. And you can tell the team is confident and very emotional.
Yeah, Willis missed one, had one blocked. Otherwise, the advantage would be bigger, but it's still 10-0.
Well, and once again, Pittsburgh's not playing well on offense. And every time this happens, Bob, people are going to get after Joe Walton. They'll say, get rid of him as the offensive coordinator. More pressure on him again.
And a happy Thanksgiving thought for him to mull over. Well, we tell you that we've got the story of the Broncos' Kenny Walker coming up, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, this message from the National Football League.
Only 69 yards. Emmitt Smith alone had 70 yards passing and receiving, and we're looking forward to our usual turkey dinner on an airplane going home today. But Louis Lips, who, you know, we talked about his entrepreneurial nature, he now has these lip-smacking Louis Lips gourmet chocolate chip pecan cookies. He's not sending one to the review booth, but he said we could take this with us. And that's actually his wife's lips. She was Miss Mississippi, Tony, her name, and he apparently is he's doing very well with these. I present those to you.
I'll take these, but
don't protect them now. You well, the hits come in here.
What a portfolio! He owns a funeral home.
Hold on, don't fumble.
He owns a funeral home.
I got to go to work here.
A daycare center and a cookie business. He's covered the spectrum of investments.
The kickoff by Anderson down to the goal line, and out comes number 81, Alexander Wright, the fastest of the Cowboys. He stopped short of the 20-yard line as we look at our Coors Light halftime statistics. And not much to cheer about on either side, and especially if you're a Steeler fan, only 69 yards. Cowboys but 113. And the turnovers don't reflect two bad snaps on punts that gave the Cowboys excellent field position deep in Pittsburgh territory, but they were able to manage only 3 points out of those opportunities. The touchdown coming on a 6-yard run by Emmitt Smith on the Cowboys' first possession as they went 51 yards in 11 plays. Not much offensively. Let's see if it picks up here in the second half as the Cowboys go for 8-5. Pittsburgh trying to win. It would be their 6th against 7 defeats. Emmitt Smith. Nice play on the corner by Greg Lloyd, number 95 from Fort Valley State.
Lloyd is the premier player in that defensive unit because he can really do just about everything. He's the best tackler, and he can move very, very well. You see him just ward off his man and make the play. Smith is tending to break outside just a little too conveniently for him. He's not willing to take the ball and cut it back the other way. And so right now that Pittsburgh defense is just flowing right with him, and when he gets to the line, they're all waiting for him.
It's equal to Steelers' total offense. Emmitt Smith, second and long for Berline. Good protection, and wide open is Urban, but he can't hang on. Ball a little late getting there, and David Johnson had a hand in front of Irvin who couldn't quite pull it in. And remember Berline yesterday talking about how competitive that Irvin is. He said he could make 9 circus catches, but if he bobbles the next one, he's so angry at himself. He wants to be absolutely perfect.
He just has ultimate confidence in himself. 143 yards last week against the Redskins. That's pretty darn good. He doesn't have the great speed. He just is a fine all-round athlete. And just believe it or not, Dick, at University of Miami, he had Blades, Perryman, and himself as receivers. 2 guys that'll be great pro. 3 guys that'll be great pro.
Flag down, third and long, and right over the Boy, did he come back. That's him. And Michael Irvin right over the top of Woodson, who seemed in position for an interception. And Irvin, after the drop, makes a spectacular catch. Now let's check the penalty. It's against, apparently, the Cowboys. Bring it back, says Red Cashin.
Well, going into the game and visiting with Steve Berline, he says, we're going after Woodson. We're going after Johnson. Irvin can do it. He's 6'2". Harper's 6'3". They've got the size and the athletic ability. And in this case, it's a fine catch, and we see the movement by the right tackle, Eric Williams.
He's a rookie from Central State of Ohio. They were the NAIA national champions a year ago.
Well, he's sitting back in that two-point stance to pass protect. And just losing his balance slightly, he just sort of tips backwards. And I'm just not sure how great that two-point stance is, especially for a younger player. Just so unfamiliar with it.
6'6" and 319 pounds. So 3rd and 16 for Berline and the Cowboys deep in their own end, and the draw to Smith. Well read by number 94. That would be Jeff Brady from Kentucky, a rookie.
Brady comes in on the nickel defense, and to give that job to a rookie, they have to have a lot of confidence in it. And it's his job to cover the back. Now, you see, what he's doing is just covering the back, and when the back carries the ball, he's right there to make the stop. If the back would have released out of the backfield, he'd have been right with him.
So Mike Saxon, only his second punt today, will kick from around his own 5-yard line. Jeff Graham, the rookie for the Steelers, very deep at the 37 of Pittsburgh. They'll have to race up to get that one, and does on the run. 43-yard line of Dallas. So the Steelers' first possession of this second half on the Dallas side of the field after a 38-yard punt. 8 yards on Graham's return. And Bill Bates, a familiar old name, one of the old-timers from the Landry era, made the tackle for Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys. Pittsburgh's first possession of the second half. They begin at the Dallas 44. 69 yards total offense in the entire first half. Let's see if Neil O'Donnell, Joe Walton, the offensive coordinator, Chuck Noll have some different plans for the Cowboy defense in the last 30 minutes. Warren Williams, yes. Williams to the 27, first down.
Well, that was the best field position that Pittsburgh's had all day, over a half of football. They hadn't got to that position, and they really took advantage of it that time. Well-blocked play with the counter block with Hodge leading right there. Nice job of blocking. Dawson, nice job of picking up the linebacker. Big hole, and Williams took it. That's the single best execution they've had in over 30 minutes of football.
He's carried 3 times for an average of better than 10 per carry. On first down, it's Hodge this time on a quick hitter to the 20-yard line, and a gain of 8 more.
Well, the adjustments at halftime, the planning at halftime, Joe Walton and the staff have put it together pretty well thus far. That time they just quickly gave it to Hodge as the ball was snapped, and he came right in behind Ricketts, and really Dallas didn't account for that quickness hitting into the hole. They were looking for a tailback.
Second down and 2. First time the Steelers have been in field goal range today. Blitz, and the give to Williams, breaks a couple of tackles and has a first down at the 16.
Williams really had to negotiate a lot of people to get there, and that was just an effort because people blitzed right into the designed hole, right into it. And when that happens, you'll see people blitzing right into the hole, and Williams is going to have to break it back to get away. So he ran right to the crux of the field, got a decent block by Hodge, but Williams was able to break back right through the blitzers.
He played with Melvin Bratton in the Hurricanes backfield, 87-88. On first down. O'Donnell to the end zone to Lips. Too tall. The coverage by Larry Brown.
Lips wanted to run a post corner where he'd start in sharply, then break back out, but Brown did just a fine job of staying right with it. You'll see Lips start in, Brown be in good position, and just break right back out with him and be in position to make a play on the ball. Just well covered.
Neil O'Donnell, meanwhile, going back to the first half, has completed only one of his last 10 throws.
This Larry Brown, number 24, reminds him of a Willie Brown many, many years ago. Excellent coverage, and he's a rookie.
On TCU. Give to Hodge. And the Cowboys were waiting. A gain of only a couple. Vincent Smith and others.
Every time I see that 24, I think of Willie Brown, one of the great, great cornerbacks of all time.
Now the coach, Cal State Long Beach, replacing George Allen. So from the 15, Bill Walsh, play a little quarterback here yourself. 3rd down and 8.
Go for the field goal.
Well, wait, you got another down to do something else.
My guess is that Dallas is going to come after him, and a slant pass or the back in the flat as an alternative is a way to take care of it.
Hodge, the only running back. 3 wide receivers, so it'll be a triple right. O'Donnell. Incomplete, and then it's deflected almost into the arms of number 85, Keith Cash. That would have been a nice little gift for the Steelers.
Again, a 3rd down call, nickel defense, and a play fake by the quarterback. That's a number of times that's occurred, and it must be part of the plan. But no one's fooled by the play fake. They're all playing pass.
So the field goal unit on, and highly reliable veteran Gary Anderson, the all-time scorer in Steeler history, tries one from 32. The first points for Pittsburgh if successful. Good job on the hold as a flag goes down. Straczynski handling a tough snap. And now let's check the penalty.
Dallas people pointing. Holding would be catastrophic here. It would put the ball too far from the goal line.
Legal use of the hands against the Steelers. A rare call on a field goal try, and that'll move it back 10 yards.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 54 on the offense, 10 yards, still 4th down.
That's Nickerson, the linebacker.
Now Nickerson is right here. You're going to see him reach in with his left hand to hold a man and reach out with his right hand. Oh, gee, that's flimsy call. Very flimsy.
So now they'll have to try it again from 42 yards. And it is good.
Again,
Gary Anderson.
A really average snap. That ball rolled almost to the holder. And it's amazing the poise that the people had. Watch this ball down here and watch the position of it when it's kicked. It's on the wrong angle. He still makes it.
10-3 Dallas. And 2 field goal tries too low. Now Gary Anderson drills it right through the end zone. No chance for Alexander Wright. They'll take it at the 20-yard line. Gives us a chance to tell you what's ahead here on NBC on Sunday. The Jets in Buffalo. Remember the first game when Buffalo had a scare down at Giant Stadium? The Jets really played them tough, and afterwards Levy accused Coach Conslett of faking injuries to slow up that no-huddle offense. Bruce then argued back.
Bruce is a vital guy. I mean, he's got a semi-short fuse, and he explodes on those kinds of things. My guess is there might have been a little of that going on, but those are the tactics of the game.
Levy said, if you don't stop calling me bad names, I'm going to tell your mommy. On first down now, leading 10-3 out of the backfield to Smith. And Emmett Smith out of bounds after a pickup of 1. David Johnson there for Pittsburgh.
Gerald Williams was in excellent position also. Inside-out position on the ball, so he wouldn't allow the ball carrier to break back. So they corralled that on previous occasions just by their defense. They've been giving one-on-one out there, and it hasn't worked. Now here's an excellent young prospect, too.
Not to be confused, however, with Gerald Williams, who is normally in on the same defense. Gerald, J-E-R-R-O-L, plays outside, and Gerald left with a sprained thumb earlier. Is a big man inside, but he's out at the moment with an injury. Dallas has to spend a timeout as Berline goes to the sidelines. It comes with 9:07 left.
Realize it, but thanks for the information. What did I win?
No. You're also right about Steve Berline. 8 for 11, solid as the replacement for Troy Aikman.
He's sound fundamentally.
Second down and 9. Cowboys Cowboys leading 10-7. Very quiet offensive game here. He goes short to the tight end, Alfredo Roberts, another former University of Miami player from the Jimmy Johnson Canes era. It'll be short of the first down. Johnson talked about not the loss of Aikman yesterday, but he felt the biggest loss is Jay Novacek, the tight end. Novacek, who had 54 catches, he was the top NFL tight end with 59 last year, and on a record-setting pace for Dallas, would have broken Doug Cosby's mark here. It's in the 60s. Novacek out today, only being used as a holder. 3rd and 3. Flags as Thomas Everett all over Michael Irvin.
It really wasn't there for Berline. Irvin was covered all the way through, but Berline should have thrown much more quickly, and they got a big break with that call. They really did, because the play was covered and covered well. You see it's thrown late. Irvin's open early, and the play is borderline close, but Dallas got the Dallas got the call.
Everett, just his reactions here appeared to be guilty. So it's a first down on the interference at the 32. Thomas, who has his brother down in Tampa, Eric Everett, rooting for him. He's a cornerback with the Buccaneers out of Dangerfield, Texas. Berline dropped by Alvin Harper, incomplete. Should have been caught. One of the many great wide receivers out of the University of Tennessee. What a tradition they have there in Knoxville.
I think they've had 6 first-round picks over the years, and they'll have another one next year, I assume, with Pickens coming out.
Harold Pickens.
And they're all, well, I think the track program at Tennessee attracts these guys initially, the Willie Gault group. And Grady was not a first-round pick, playing for the Raiders, and he's a world-class sprinter, of course. So if you want to be a receiver, Tennessee's not a bad choice.
Goes back to Stanley Morgan. Of course, Anthony Miller, one of the bright stars out of the San Diego Charger team. Artie Nickerson makes the hit at the 35-yard line with Willis assisting. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. Happy Thanksgiving, the 24th traditional NFL game here at Texas Stadium, as the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers struggling to move the ball. 10-3, Dallas a touchdown favorite, leading the Steelers, who did very little in the first half. Pittsburgh, but got a field goal on their first possession here of the second half. We're at the midpoint of the 3rd quarter. Steve Berline for the injured Troy Aikman at the controls for the Cowboys. There's his man, Michael Irvin, his 5th catch today, his 70th of the season.
Now this is very well done by Berline and by Irvin, because you'll see the blitz coming right up inside, and Berline just holds his ground, knows the receiver will be there. Irvin sprints and stops and is thrown and caught. That's very well done. Berline comes to Dallas with good, solid fundamentals from Mike White of the Raiders, the quarterback choice.
His mother, Pearl Irvin, asked her when Michael was a youngster on Thanksgiving Day what was his favorite treat. Oh, the drumstick, and he wanted the biggest one, and he wanted all of it. Don't you dare even cut a piece of meat off the drumstick.
I'm sure his sister Janet and the whole family is watching.
Almost intercepted by David Little, as the ball either slipped out of Berline's hand or was deflected by Keith Willis, who was on the charge.
It appears it just slipped out of his hand, and of course this could have been disastrous. Yeah, it just came out of his hand almost. What a break that would have been. You know, Dick, this game smacks a little bit of the previous game we've done with Miami and Chicago, with Miami not being in the picture until late in the game. And in this particular case, it just takes one quick score, and Pittsburgh's right back in it.
2nd and 10 from the Cowboy 46 as Little looking for his 2nd interception of the year.
One got hit with.
There's that pump fake, and there he's open. Michael Irvin! Irvin had Rod Woodson beat, and they just missed connections on the goal line.
Well, that ball was thrown all almost 70 yards. And it was thrown accurately 70 yards. So anyone that would suggest that Beuerlein isn't a top-flight quarterback, nice out-and-up move. And Rod Woodson is playing that first break. This is the third time today that first break's got him moving in the wrong direction. He's coming forward as Irvin goes by. Well thrown, just missed by inches.
Irvin, whose nephew, he's the uncle of the University of Kansas record holder, Tuxedo Tony Sand, who had the NCAA record rushing game against Missouri last weekend. Over the middle. Kelvin Martin drilled by Gary Jones, but hangs on. It's a first down, and Jones, boy, he's woozy. Or rather, the receiver, Martin, woozy.
Martin is a 165-pound football player, and he got tagged, but the poise to hold on to that ball, knowing somebody's going to be there the instant he gets a hold of it. And it's well thrown. Now you see just holding on to the ball, no way to protect himself. Didn't have time to do anything, but just know he's going to get tagged.
Kmart, they call him. That's the second hit he's taken today. Remember, on a punt return where he didn't fair catch, and he took that one right helmet to helmet from Gary Jones. Martin, who is the top receiver for Dallas the last 3 years.
Now,
but has only 15 this year.
Was he a teammate of Doug Flutie? Goes back to that, doesn't
Yes, he was at Boston College. And there's Jones in his second year out of A&M. They're getting ready to play rival Texas later today. Martin is conscious and sitting up now.
Now that's threading the needle too. The throw itself was very, very well done. Right on line, right up in the shoulder area. Now there isn't anything anyone can do there. Those are the...
Boy, you could see his eyes roll back just like a knockout punch.
That's the toughest part of football, that open field, full speed contact. Well, that's sort of an indicator for Dallas football. These guys are really performing for their coach.
Yeah, it's a tough team, and that is a credit to Jimmy Johnson.
It is.
The ones that didn't want to play that way are gone.
No, I wasn't sure Jimmy Johnson would make it in the NFL, but after seeing the demonstration yesterday in our meetings, I knew he had the intensity, and he grabs and shakes things to make him work. And with Jerry Jones, I think they both coached like they played at Arkansas. Smallish guys are just so feisty and enthusiastic.
And a terrier temperament. Oops! Beuerlein loses his footing at the 42, and Willis will be credited with a sack. And Martin being watched closely on the sidelines. Oh, that's a, the human body is an incredible machine. To take that kind of wallop and still get up and have at least your senses. Fear of the crowd here with a recent casualty, Mike Utley of the Lions, and the whole football world rooting for Utley, who's obviously a brave and tough and solid guy. And I was moved near tears today in watching that presentation before the Lions-Chicago game, where his teammates gave him thumbs up, and we encore that feeling for his future. Smith hit almost immediately at the 41-yard line on a draw as Aaron Jones, 97, makes the stop. Bringing up 3rd and long for Dallas. And here comes Greg Lloyd. He's a top pass rusher. Leads the team in sacks and leads in forced fumbles. He's knocked the ball away 4 times this year. Slight concussion is the word on Kelvin Martin. Don't know whether he'll be able to return, but that's nice to see him on his feet.
You just don't want too many of those kind of catches in your career. Maybe half a dozen over a 10-year period is plenty.
Alexander Wright comes in as the 3rd wide receiver, number 81, replacing Martin. He's on the bottom of your screen. 3rd and long, 20 to go. Beuerlein almost intercepted. It was right there for Everett to grab, but he was trying to watch his man and the ball, and only able to break it up. He leads with 4 interceptions, the Steelers.
Now this ball was, you see, the ball just didn't have any tight spiral, so it got there late. And the last 2 passes that Steve Beuerlein has thrown were those kinds of passes. That's really a tough one, because Thomas Everett was right there to make the play.
Jeff Graham back. It's a short pooch punt situation for Mike Saxon. They might even take the 5-yard penalty. No. Oh, they ran into him, and the flag goes down. Another Pittsburgh mistake. Jeff Graham out of bounds at the 13.
I think it'll be a 5-yarder.
Might be more.
A 5-yarder.
Saxon holding his ankle. Of course, with punters, you can't always tell. You hope that it's not serious. Sometimes they're such good actors that what would have seemed like a very serious injury is only to get the maximum penalty. Let's hope that this isn't serious.
Well, he was caught in midair. Now that ball gets there slow, but he's caught in midair, and he just twists that ankle. It is caught underneath. I can't say that is a flagrant foul. It just happened to catch Saxon wrong.
89 on the defense. First down.
Ernie Mills, a rookie from Florida. And you see then Mills concerned about the fallen Saxon. He himself is lucky to be playing today. He was in a minor auto accident, Mills, and suffered a 20-stitch gash over his left eye. The Steelers didn't know whether he'd even be able to play today. In fact, that decision made just before the kickoff. Well, as they attend Mike Saxon, we have the full timeout. 4:34 left in the third period. The Cowboys on the penalty get the first down. It's the major penalty, not at Texas Stadium, as they work on the ankle of Mike Saxon. He was able to walk off with a limp, but under his own power. 15-yard penalty, the first down on 4th and 20 for Dallas.
I really have trouble with that penalty, but you can see Pittsburgh self-destructing. But that was a 5-yard penalty. It was unfortunate that Saxon twisted his ankle, but there was no malice, no effort, no major contact. One man dove to block it, just missed, and caught the other man's ankle. And typically, that's a 5-yard penalty.
David Little, number 50, making the tackle. Ken Willis, the field goal kicker, would be the backup punter if Saxon cannot continue today. 4:07 left, and Dallas, while they've had many opportunities, and in some eyes, Cowboy eyes, could have been leading 24-0 at the half, but weren't able to take advantage of opportunities. Lead by only a touchdown, but they're back driving toward the Steeler goal. 2nd down and 7. Smith breaks the tackle, but gets only a yard or two.
I'd say honestly, Dick, that these two clubs, Dallas has every chance this year to be a playoff team. But both clubs' offensive lines are not fully matured and aren't really at this point among the better offensive lines in the league, because both have trouble against real severe slanting, driving, attacking defenses. They just don't pick up people quickly enough or physically enough.
Emmitt Smith now 64 yards on the day, but held fairly well in check by Pittsburgh. 24 carries, only 64 for Smith. Barry Sanders had about the same today for Detroit. Thomas would get his chance against the Jets on Sunday, the leader. That ball thrown outside, and Carnell Lake, like a basketball player, right in the face of his man in the lane. Incomplete, and here comes Willis to try another field goal. He has had one block today from 47 yards. He's been good from 18, and he missed wide right from 45. This one will be 37. Extend the Dallas lead to 10. And it is no good. He missed again. So the Cowboys 1 for 4 in field goals, and that upsets the locals.
Well, they just can't put the Steelers away. 3 points could very well have done it the way the Pittsburgh team has been moving the ball, but they just can't get him put away.
That just missed to the right. He's missed both times to the right. 38 yards officially on that misfire. He's been quite reliable coming into the game. 18 for 25 with a long of 54. But 1 for 4 today. So Pittsburgh still alive, trailing by just a touchdown. 2:58 left in the third. They start from the 20. O'Donnell into the flat to Warren Williams, and the big running back gets 11 yards. Larry Brown, the tackler.
Just a matter of flooding one side of the field and Williams sitting outside in the zone defense, and Dallas was going to give them that play. It's a rather dangerous play. You'll see right down here at the bottom of the screen that there'll be a soft spot in the zone. Williams will sit down in the hole here, and you see all of this room, but Brown's there to make the stop, and they're not going to get away with that too often.
Pittsburgh isn't. Merrill Hodge, the only running back, and the tight end Cash goes in motion. Throw is complete to Lewis Lips, his third catch today. Isaac Holt, the tackler, a pickup of about 8.
These are all pass patterns designed to be worked against a zone defense, where you have a hooking receiver, a wide flare. You'll see the 3 men coming down and basically hooking, and then the wide man hooking. If it were man-to-man, there'd be a defender standing right next to him. The play just wouldn't have a chance. And so Pittsburgh has a feeling, I guess, as to what the defensive coverage will be from situation to situation.
Lips now with 43 catches on the year to lead the Steelers. 2nd and 1. And a toss to Williams with blockers. Boy, that's a good play by James Washington, because Williams had a lot of room ahead had Washington not knifed off that blocker to make the tackle.
That was a Franco Harris play. That play I can recall so vividly when I was at the Bengals, and Harris would get that ball outside with his pulling guards out in front of him, and they get outside the defense before it has a chance to respond. And Harris, as you know, just ate up people getting running room outside.
Boy, you do bring back some memories. You can just see Franco on that play.
Remember us, we had a great series with Pittsburgh when I was with Paul Brown and the Bengals. We'd win in Cincinnati, they'd win in Pittsburgh.
Williams, a productive day, 8.8 per carry. First down at the Steeler, 49 for O'Donnell. A throwback to Williams. Good move, good block by Hodge. And Williams bumped out of bounds at the 40 of Dallas. That'll be another first down.
You know, this is so much like the Miami-Chicago game. Miami is shut down and then all of a sudden comes alive in the 4th quarter, right at the end of the 3rd quarter, and wins the ball game. Now there's all kind of room. Again, the zone defense.
Clock running near the 1-minute mark in the 3rd. This drive starting after the missed field goal back at the Pittsburgh 20. Now the crowd urging the defense. First down, Williams. To the 37-yard line, a gain of 4. Dixon Edwards from Michigan State, their 2nd-round pick, makes the tackle.
Well, the play calling by Joe Walton at this point has been, he's made adjustments at halftime, and they're very, very solid calls. They're working against that zone. They're throwing a run in there about every 3rd down. They have a run that stretches the defense, and they can just 1 touchdown.
Second and a short 8, final seconds of the 3rd quarter. Tight end, and hit immediately Keith Cash, the rookie from Texas, whose twin brother Kerry is with the Colts. Not enough for the first down. It'll be 3rd down and about 3.5, as we'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Share.
Claimed, I know you're a history buff, by what American president?
I think it was during the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln.
That was indeed Abraham Lincoln in 1863 made this the last Thursday of November an official holiday. O'Donnell hit from the backside, almost intercepted. They might call it a fumble. No, they're calling it a forward pass. Red Cashin moving his arm forward. O'Donnell just did get that arm in motion as Jim Jeffcoat, the veteran from Arizona State, came in the back door.
Jeffcoat had every chance. You could, from our angle, you could really see this coming. You can see him coming around to the outside, and O'Donnell had no idea that he was going to be there. O'Donnell was concentrating downfield.
It's a 10-3 game, 4th down, and a tough 3. It would be a 52-yard field goal, and on the field is Gary Anderson. And Jack Del Rio, the leading tackler for the Cowboys, is down. Here to
to be back of the leg. Boy, this is the time, and every year you can just count on when you get near Thanksgiving and you talk to any coach, first thing you hear from them is what you used to tell us to. The sold out at the Superdome, Grambling and Southern, Saturday 2:30 Eastern on NBC.
There'll be a lot of pro scouts in those stands. I bet every team is represented by 2 or 3 people. So many fine young prospects.
Here's Gary Anderson trying. Well, it'll be between 51 and 52-yard field goal. Anderson has kicked one 49 this year, his longest ever, 55. This would pull the Steelers within 4.
Replay official, the play stands, it's 4th down.
Now this strategy people could argue with. They really could. 4th and 4 versus a long field goal. And the 3 points aren't going to be that. They still have to score a touchdown.
Oh, boy, he really topped that one. He knuckled that one low, hit it very high on the ball. That's uncharacteristic of Gary Anderson. Lucky it wasn't blocked.
Looked like he rushed it. His timing wasn't there. Good hold. Caught the ball right in the middle. Didn't even come close. It's easy enough to second guess. We all can do it, everybody at home and in the booth. But the 4th and about 3-yard situation, the 3 points weren't that valuable at this time.
That one looked like Hoyt Wilhelm kicked it.
34-yard line then, as Dallas gets good field position off the long missed field goal attempt. Still 10-3, early 4th quarter. Line on the fake. And a nice throw to Irvin. Out of bounds at the Pittsburgh 44.
That's a pretty good throw.
22 yards.
A deep over pattern by Irvin, coming in behind the linebackers. Now this fake's holding both liners and then the tight ends in front of them, and then Irvin slips in behind people.
Irvin leads all receivers, 6 catches today and 79 yards.
Now that's a Jerry Rice pattern. Exactly what we did with San Francisco. Fake John Frank coming shallow with Brent Jones, then putting Jerry in behind everybody.
Takes to Smith to the sidelines. Is he in bounds? Yes, they're calling it a catch at the 33. Another for Irvin, a dozen more yards if it counts.
You see that ball carry to Irvin. Carries right to him.
Now, if he dragged that right toe, it's a catch. From that angle, you can't tell whether he made contact.
Now, this takes a good arm, good solid arm, good balance by the quarterback to lean in to the throw. What I like about Berline, he can do everything you ask of him. He can throw the deep ball. He's already thrown one 70 yards down the field. He's got good touch, and he hasn't played for over a year. So excellent trade. They end up giving a 4th-round draft choice, and they've got an outstanding backup.
Berline calls time. You could see on the replays Irvin had the toe down before he even made the drag. It was obviously a catch, and we have a timeout.
The American Forces Korea Network.
Here, Dallas fired up. Even the old retired television producers are here cheering the Cowboys.
Boy, I like the arms. I got to try the arms. I never thought of that.
Well, we got to do. We learn some steps. Go on to it just one minute. Emmitt Smith. No dancing there for the top runner of the Cowboys inside the 30-yard line. Tackled by Jerry Olsofsky and Greg Vesey, 91. There's Mills, a young man we told you ran into a small auto accident. Barely can see out that left eye, and then caught with that 15-yard running into the kicker, roughing the kicker penalty. But as has been the case for so many opportunities by Dallas today, they came away without any points, and so lead only 10-3, 13 minutes to go. 2nd and 7. Berline skipped it to his tight end, Alfredo Roberts, and it appeared again somebody on the backside. It might have been Gerald Williams again, getting a piece of Berline just as he threw.
Gerald Williams has got that speed and that explosion. He just puts his shoulder down, gets underneath the tackle, and you'll see him on the outside, and he's just about there every time.
He's got just a nudge on Berline, enough to throw him
balance. So it's 3rd and 7. Berline 13 for 22. So who is that? Didn't even knock coming in there on that backside. Cowboys are 4 for 12 on 3rd down today. Smith, they go to the run, trying to catch Pittsburgh with a surprise, but Carnell Lake was there to drag him down.
Pittsburgh does a great job with their strong safety position. That time, Carnell Lake sneaks up in close to the line of scrimmage, and he sits right there to make the play. And you'll see him right here. Now, Pittsburgh's in a nickel defense, and Lake just is right there to make the stop. The combination this guy has of size and speed makes him a great utility man.
Willis will try his 5th field goal today from 43 yards away. He's been good on only one. He's missed, remember, to the right twice. Not this time. Dallas 13, Pittsburgh 3.
Pushing now 10. 13-3 the score. 12 minutes plus remaining as Willis tees it up. Jeff Graham and Dwight Stone deep for the Steelers, who are averaging only 7 yards a kickoff return today.
That Dallas, Dick, that Dallas intensity is getting there before the blockers are in position to take them.
A little shorter this time to Stone. And he's to the 25-yard line. Robert Williams and Stan Smagala in on the tackle. NFL Live on Sunday, 12:30. O.J. Simpson, he really likes the Jets, and Bill Parcells isn't quite sure, so O.J.'s going to take him out to hospital. The Jets practice and give him some pointers as the Jets get ready for Buffalo. And we understand a report that Bruce Smith, the all-pro defensive end for Buffalo, practiced again today, and may well, they'll announce it later in the week, whether he'll be playing against the Jets at Rich Stadium on Sunday. That's that 1 o'clock game on NBC. There's our lineup. Trailing by 10, O'Donnell goes to the pass on 1st down. Oh, had a man open, and he'll get a flag on it. As Keith Cash, the tight end, tripped as he was going for the ball.
It looks as though their legs got tangled. I didn't see any foul along the way.
James Washington, the defender.
But the Steelers need a break. Now there's the up pattern, and there might have been a little holding, but it just looked like a trip on that artificial surface.
But the fact that Washington had made contact too encouraged the flag.
They were sort of obligated to make the call. You know, Dick, another subject. How many
interference by the defense? Number 37, 1st down.
You know, how many of the players we interview have single parent families? So many of them, and so often it's a gal who's supporting a large family and working. And I just like to make a tribute and acknowledgement to those gals on Thanksgiving for what they've done.
It is Mother's Day, isn't it? O'Donnell to Merrill Hodge. Hodge picking up blockers and was 1 away from really turning off something special. Gets to the Dallas 41-yard line as he's hit from behind by Jim Jeffcoat. Merrill Hodge, we asked him about Thanksgiving, and he's a big outdoorsman. Said, you ever go hunt wild turkey? And he has.
What was it? They took him out as part of a guide and a television program. And
said, don't fall asleep and always have your rifle ready or your gun ready.
And they blow that little turkey sound, and he had fallen asleep, and when he woke up, they're all around him. He took 5 shots and missed every time.
They told him, you're not shooting ostrich. You're a little high.
There's that toss play.
Warren Williams. It works again, and it's out of bounds with the 1st down at the Dallas 33. 11 more yards for Williams, who's had a good day. James Washington, the tackler. 57 yards now for Williams.
Strictly a speed play with the flanker cracking back on the safety and both linemen pulling, the tackle and the guard, and Tunch Ilkin was out in front of the play, and it's just speed getting outside. I didn't see why that altercation started.
The 33, Williams comes out. They go to 3 wide receivers. Dwight Stone slotted right, Litz wide right, Graham to the far left. And they bring the tight end Cooper in motion. O'Donnell
going deep for Graham. He's out of bounds, so was an ineligible receiver. Larry Brown, good coverage by this 12th round pick from TCU. What a pick that is. And here he is, a starting corner, and he can play man very well.
He just, look at this technique. He just slowly but surely rides his man out of bounds without a foul. There wasn't anywhere to go.
He wanted Everson Walls, number 24, and he has earned it. He's the youngest Cowboy, just 22. So O'Donnell looks at 2nd and 10 from the Dallas 33. He's 12 for 27 today, just 98 yards passing. Steeler fans, if this were in Pittsburgh, might be chanting Bubby. Underneath. And shy of the first down, a pickup of about 7 to Dwight Stone. I believe that's his first catch today, 2nd.
Well, Donald threw that one. He drilled it.
He's from Middle Tennessee State, is Dwight Stone, where he was on a pretty fine team in Murfreesboro with one of your guys, Don Griffin.
You're right. Don Griffin has become one of the premier defensive backs in the league. And Ray Rhodes found him at Middle Tennessee. And Stone's a comparable athlete.
3rd and 2 at the 25. Complete to the tight end Cash, and he has 10 yards and a first down at the Dallas 15. Del Rio back in the game, in on the tackle, number 55.
Well, there's all kinds of traffic around the receiver. They're going to run a man in motion and then hook the tight end. You see crossing underneath, and they end up with a tight end hooking. So there's a man outside the tight end, a man inside of him, and he's isolated on a zone defender. So that kind of thing has been one thing that's worked for Joe Walton today.
9.5 minutes left. Dallas 13, Pittsburgh 3.
You can see by 117 yards, you can see that Pittsburgh hasn't been able to do anything down the field.
Hodge commit at the line of scrimmage. Jim Jeffcoat. He replaced Harvey Martin back in the early 80s. Jeffcoat in his 9th season, and another big play. He's had a good game.
Excellent. He just stuffed John Jackson, unfortunately. Just stood him right up and then came off the block to make the play. I can remember Jeffcoat in our big 49er Dallas rivalry. He was an excellent young player at that time.
Well, they've stifled Merrill Hodge. He's had 9 chances to run and gained only 10 yards total. O'Donnell to Graham, incomplete. And again, man coverage from the rookie, Larry Brown.
Brown is right there. He has a future. He's got everything it takes. Just watching cover today, it's the first time I've seen him, but he's got all the movement that a Don Griffin of the 49ers has. He's quick on his feet, nimble, and he can stay right with the receiver without trampling him.
How could a man like him be around to the 12th round? He went to junior college, Southwest Community College in L.A. He's a high school product out of Los Angeles. Then 2 years at TCU, had 3 interceptions. What a steal.
3rd and 10. Actually 11.
Big blitz.
Picked up. The throw to Lips. He's got it. 1st and goal at the 3.
That's a big-time throw. O'Donnell has got it. He might be 2 or 3 years from becoming a top category quarterback, but this throw tells us he can do it. And he'll step right into this thing. Watch the ball carry to the receiver. Lips didn't have to slow down, didn't have to reach back. He caught that ball right on the numbers.
Well, that deep out is really the test of a quarterback.
It really is, right there.
So 3-yard line is where the ball is spotted.
The Cowboys leading 13-3, but Pittsburgh a chance here to be a big factor in this game with 8 to go. It's Williams, and he has a touchdown. Williams, 4th of the year.
Boy, do they do that well. You wonder why you don't see more of it. The tackle pulls, the guard pulls, and one kicks out, the other turns back, and there's just a little hole to sprint through. That's the 3rd time we've seen it. And it's just so well done. You see the 2 blocks outside will be very, very evident, and if we can get a chance to look at it, we'll show you what we're talking about.
Extra point coming. We'll have to wait until this extra point. Williams now 59 yards and the second touchdown of the game, first by Pittsburgh. Anderson nails the extra point, and this might turn out being a Thanksgiving treat after all.
This is an interesting play. It's an age-old play, but you'll see a pull here to the outside and a pull here. One will block in, one will block out, and then the ball carrier will break right between them. So it's an excellent pattern to take a look at. Both pulling, one's kicking out, the other's turning back. There's that hole, that alley to sprint through. It's strictly a speed play. And I can remember the Raiders with Clem Daniels running that, and all the way back to Sid Gilman's days many, many years ago with that speed toss.
Well, that was the most impressive drive by either team today. 75 yards and 9 plays by a sputtering Pittsburgh offense, but they put it together there, and Warren Williams for the injured Barry Foster. Williams had rushed for only 129 yards all year and just a 3.4 average. But today, he's rolled up some big numbers. His average 7.4. There he is, waving to his home, Fort Myers, Florida, where they're celebrating him. He grew up in quite a neighborhood. His neighborhood buddies growing up, Deion Sanders, the Falcons and the Braves, and Mike Greenwell, the talented outfielder with the Boston Red Sox.
Well, now in the offseason, when he sees those guys, he's got bragging rights, believe me.
I'm sure they're watching and rooting for him today. And his numbers, 59 yards and a touchdown. 92 total with the pass receptions. So, 13-10. Plenty of time left. Just under 8 minutes. As the kick comes down to Alexander Wright. He's got blazing speed, and he's out to the 34. Anderson made the tackle. Little Gary Anderson gets his nose in there and trips him up.
Well, that kicker can be a factor. In this case, he was. Just concentrate and then follow up all the coverage people, and if anybody pokes out of there, you take them. It's easy enough to say, but Anderson is not built for that kind of duty.
Well, tonight, after you're rubbing the crumbs from that pumpkin pie away, enjoy the Cosby Show, A Different World, Cheers, Wings, L.A. Law, All-Star Thursday Night Lineup on NBC. From the Dallas 34. Burline. Batted in the air, incomplete. David Johnson knocked it away from Michael Irvin.
Well, I wouldn't come back to that. This isn't the time and place in the game to throw deep outs. You're sitting there with a 3-point lead, and you've completed a number of them, but look at the break on the ball that Johnson's getting. It's going to be tight. And I don't think that Norv Turner's going to come up with that one again. He's got mileage out of it, but throw the ball inside.
To that drive, 75 yards by Pittsburgh. Remember, they had only 69 yards all the first half. Dallas needs a long drive just to keep it away from Pittsburgh's revived offense. Burline down the middle, incomplete to Irvin. Oh, he drew a crowd. There were 5 black and gold uniforms around him.
Well, Dallas is not taking time off the clock. We know that. And last week, they took the ball and got their series of first downs to hold on to a victory, and there's plenty of time left. But they're not absorbing that clock at this point. They've taken maybe 6 or 7 seconds off in 2 plays. So Pittsburgh still has time.
3rd and 10. 7.5 minutes left. Irvin, he's been the big target, way out to the right for Burline. Looking for Irvin. He goes there again. He's got it, and he could go all the way. Rod Woodson can't get him. Touchdown.
Woodson, who was Olympic potential in the 110-meter hurdles, but he was strong enough to kick his way out of the tackle. And Pearl Irvin, his mother, in the white, and his wife Sandy celebrate. Boy, they'll have that jelly cake. He said that's the favorite dessert. He'll get jelly cake tonight.
I'm sure Janet, his sister, the whole family back home are standing up right now.
Celebrating in Fort Lauderdale. The rest of that family is 17. She says we have 35 grandchildren and 10 or 12 great-grandchildren.
Well, it's a close play initially, but we don't get any safety help coming from the outside in. And you see, oh, there it is. It missed. Oh, gee. To make a play on the ball, the defender didn't go through the receiver to make it.
Actually knocked off his own man.
Yep.
Boy, 2 great weeks back-to-back for Irvin. Last week against the Skins, or last Sunday, just 4 days ago, 9 catches, 130 yards and a touchdown. Today, 8 catches, 157 yards and a touchdown. And they're cheering the replay.
That size really comes in. There's only so much you can do with a smaller receiver, but a Jerry Rice kind of receiver, a Harper, an Irvin, big guys that can break tackles. In that case, the strength paid off right at that point of reception.
Obviously, Jimmy Johnson agrees with your theory, Bill. Irvin is 6'2", and the other starter, Alvin Harper, 6'3". So you get that man coverage, and you put that height against those smaller DBs, and you've got something physical going for you.
Well, you see a lot of strength.
So it's 20-10 Dallas with 7:22 left. 32 seconds to score that touchdown. Dwight Stone takes it at the 1. And Stone dragged down by Manny Hendricks at the 14.
Well, we can take a look at what happened and how it became this right here, and I believe that's going to be Lake. You'll see the pattern come down and break in, but Lake will overplay to the outside, and that was where the error is. If he came inside out on the ball, he'd have been fine, but you see him come to the outside and let the receiver inside of him, and it spells touchdown.
And Woodson showing his great sprinting ability, but Irvin's strong enough to kick out of that tackle.
Well, Irvin, you see him weave and bend. That's what you do if you're slower and somebody's chasing you. You start bending back and forth so they can't reach full stride.
O'Donnell went right by Merrill Hodge as if he didn't see the ball. Back to Irvin, if we can for a moment. Remember, he came into this game as the leader in the NFL in yards receiving, and he's picked up another 150 today. He's certainly on all-pro course. He's got to get some Pro Bowl votes, young Irvin, who was a #1 pick out of the University of Miami. In fact, he told his teammates when they went from the Landry era to Jimmy Johnson, they said, well, what's Johnson like? What's he going to be like? He said, you better get yourself in shape right now. And that was 6 months before training camp. Second and 10 for O'Donnell. To Lips. Oh, what a play by Lips. He was dragging those toes, and Johnson said no, he was juggling. But Lips, how in the world could he stay inbounds, keep those toes down, tickling the sidelines?
And it's so tight.
Boy, a
There it is.
toe scraper by the Lip smacker.
Boy, has he become a great professional. Now, if he had lined up a little closer to the center position, he wouldn't have been running out of room quite so readily. But what a catch.
Jimmy Johnson, the official, right on the spot.
Sometimes you can split too wide running that pattern. There isn't any room left when you get there.
Oh, Lips comes to this side and has it knocked away by Isaac Holt.
Well, Lips wanted to run with the ball. He was going to cut back underneath Holt, and he lost track of it, took his eye off of it. Well, the pattern will be there. The completion's there, but you'll see Lips want to catch it and coming back inside, and he lost his concentration.
It's the same pattern, but to the other side of the field. Second and 10, stops the clock, 6:37 left.
Boy, I like these Dallas corners. Holt and Brown can cover.
Lips left, Stone to the right. O'Donnell to Stone, and it's complete at At the 48, the hit by James Washington, but Stone holds on for 21 more yards.
Well, that took courage. Stone knew it was going to be there. He knew Washington would be there, no question about it. He could see him. Now he just makes sure he catches this ball. Now this is a sacrifice. The courage these guys have is unbelievable. There isn't a sport like this ever where guys were asked to do this and enthusiastically did it.
Melvin Martin leading the game on a similar play. The Dallas Cowboy little wide receiver suffered a mild concussion, has not returned. First down, Pittsburgh. O'Donnell fumbles. Dallas recovers. It's Jimmy Jones. Russell Maryland knocked it away. Jimmy Jones recovered. And a flag is down.
Well, Joe Walton can talk to Neil O'Donnell about carrying that ball, moving laterally with one hand.
Holding by the offense on the 65. Holding by the offense.
They pointed the wrong way.
65. That penalty is declined. First down.
Now watch the ball being just carried around like it's a baseball instead of a football. You just can't do that.
Russell Maryland made the big play for the Cowboys.
You need
Their
both
#1
hands on the
pick.
ball, Dick. You've got to have both hands on the ball when you avoid the pass rush. You see it all the time.
Jimmy Jones, also from Miami of Florida, the backup to Maryland, recovers, and Dallas is in business again. Stripped of the ball. Russell Maryland making the play for Dallas, and the Cowboy fans are really beginning to believe, and you can hear it in the hotels, the taxi driver. That's usually a pretty good indication. What's that guy Hacken tell you about the ball club? They feel that Jimmy Johnson has done a tremendous job. This club is on the roll, and there goes Emmitt Smith, the other part of the punch. They got a top-notch passing game, even with Berline, the backup, and Emmitt Smith, a 1,000-yard rusher. And in fact, he is one of only 4 Dallas runners in history to rush for 1,000. That's kind of hard to believe. Herschel Walker did it once, Calvin Hill twice, and of course the great Tony Dorsett 8 times.
Well, you know, at Florida, they knew what they were getting. He once rushed for 316 yards against a New Mexico State team in a real tight game. So they knew what they were getting. This guy attacks the line of scrimmage as quickly as any back we've seen all year. He hits that line of scrimmage.
And yet it doesn't look as if he's running that fast. He just glides. Such an effortless stride. He gets it again. And he's inside the 20-yard line. In fact, he said yesterday, he's only 22, and he's got those big dark eyes, and they just smile at you. And we were talking about the fact that he doesn't seem like he's running fast, but no one catches him. What was his comment to you?
Well, he looks at these great runners. He's looked at the Paytons of the world, the Dickersons of the world, all these great runners. Thomas from Buffalo, he says, man, do they move? And I just don't move that fast. I don't look fast.
He says, I'm embarrassed when I watch myself.
But I'll tell you, he hits that line. He is so smooth. So smooth, you don't think he is moving that fast.
It's 3rd and 1. With Dallas leading 20-10, 4 minutes to go. Oops, another offside, I believe. No flag. We don't see a flag, and it's Smith burrowing into the middle of the line. Well, the umpire, we can tell you that the crowd today sets a somewhat surprising record for Dallas. It's the 13th consecutive time the Cowboys have drawn 60,000 or more. There's 62,253 here today. They've never had a run like that in their history, and you'd think back to those glory days. They'd never had 13 straight 60,000 or more here.
That would surprise me. I'd assume that they had sellouts year after year under Tom Landry.
Pittsburgh uses a timeout.
I'm Gary Carter with American Treasury. The Marine Corps hymn begins from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. How those places figure in American history after this.
We learn good habits young. Buckle me up.
The words of the Marine Corps hymn recall Marines fighting pirates in the
bowl with the 4 Super Bowl championships of the 70s, but since '79, when the Steelers won, his teams are just 2 games above 500 total through the 80s and again this year. And if he loses today, it'll be 5-8, and you can't eliminate anything anymore until you go run it through the computer. But that would just about be the squash any flickering hopes for the Steelers. 4th and 1. They go for it, and Berline hit from behind. It'll be Pittsburgh's ball at the 28-yard line. Rod Woodson on a corner blitz. 4th sack for the Steelers today.
Woodson's been coming off that corner in every goal line, every short yardage situation. Right in front of us, number 26. They don't account for the cornerback blitzing, and how would Berline know? But he's done it every time. At some point, you'd get a guard to double read and come out looking for a defensive back in those situations.
Woodson, a Pro Bowler, is a return man, and then last year as both return and talented corner. Gives his team a chance, but time now an issue. Just under 4 minutes left, and they trail by 10. Earlier today, Detroit beat Chicago 16-6 to tie up that Central Division NFC. O'Donnell is hit. Returning the favor, Russell, Maryland. Oh my, this big guy, the #1 pick in the draft, starting to flex his top-rated muscles.
They've got him down to 275 pounds. Now he'll loop all the way outside Ricketts, the guard, and just make the stop. It's one-on-one, and his quickness beat Ricketts right at the line of scrimmage.
His 2nd sack plus a forced fumble. O'Donnell. Ooh, Dwight Stone, and no flag as Isaac Holt came over the top. It'll be 3rd and long for Neil O'Donnell, who was a sophomore at the University of Maryland. It's a small world. Football replaced, just as he's replaced Bubby Brister this year, replaced an injured quarterback, a junior ahead of him, Dan Henning, the son of the San Diego Charger coach.
Well, he was a great athlete. In high school, he averaged 28 points a game in basketball. Played 1 baseball game and pitched a 2-hitter, then went back to the weight room to prepare for football. So you've got a fine athlete, but a lot of sophistication is needed very, very quickly to be a winner.
3rd and 18. Down he goes. This time, Tony Tolbert gets him.
Well, those are the big losses, 15 yards. Tolbert just beats his man at the line of scrimmage. The man blocking him tried to take him too high. At some point, you have to reach down and cut their feet out from under them. You can't play the game standing up every down.
Tolbert bringing back memories of Ed Too Tall Jones. He's 6'6" and 265 from UTEP is Tolbert. Straczynski just gets it away. Beautiful high spiral. Fair catch called for and handled by Alexander Wright at the 41 of the Steelers. 39-yard punt.
So now it's a matter of just taking the ball and running it right down Pittsburgh's throat with a running game and using the clock up. And to be a big winner, at some point, Dallas has to do this well.
Well, a big weekend of football that starts on Saturday on NBC, 2:30, as Eddie Robinson's Grambling Tigers take on Southern University. The Superdome sold out for this annual classic, and we hope you'll join us on NBC for all the fun. And then on Sunday, of course, NFL action, and the game most of you will see around the country, the New York Jets, with a winning record this year under Bruce Coslett against the team with the top record in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills. This top-rated quarterback, Jim Kelly. Emmitt Smith, looking fancy there, running through tackles down to the 32-yard line, a gain of 11 or 12. David Little finally got him to the carpet.
Smith demonstrates that stamina you need in a great tailback. We're at the end of the game, and he hasn't slowed down a step.
He carried 34 times last Sunday against the Skins for 134. He's carried 30 times today, 90 yards. Updating, counting today's play by Sanders and Smith. They're now 1-2, just ahead of Thurman Thomas, and Thomas will get geared up for the Jets on Sunday. What a great player he is. Leads in total yardage, rushing and receiving. Thurman Thomas again, as he has the last 2 years. Smith, boy, what a
goes 10 yards wide.
Well, you start to crack and you start to cave in, and Pittsburgh's obviously lost the game, and they start caving in slightly, and that's when you get all those big numbers rushing the ball.
Owner Jerry Jones on the sidelines. He and Jimmy Johnson, the coach, were members of the University of Arkansas 64 national championship team, unbeaten. Johnson was a 204-pound defensive lineman, and Jones was a pulling guard at 183. So both times have changed. He's enjoying. He loves the game.
He says, we do it. It's not my team, not Jimmy's. It's together. It's our team, and they work so well together. What I think they bring is energy, and almost in a sense of being naive about all the options of coaching and gathering of talent. They don't have a strict philosophy of some kind. They're just creative and look for all kind of alternatives that sometimes stodgy NFL people haven't done. They get sort of remotely stuck in a philosophy and they won't leave it. These guys just come in with energy, enthusiasm, and say, now how can we make this a winner?
And apparently the Cowboys will go 8-5 and stay in the midst of a very difficult wild card picture. There's so many teams still with high hopes. NFC East especially.
Give to the fullback Johnston. A rare carry east to the 5-yard line. Now let's take a look at today's Canon camcorder replay of the game. Attention Kmart. Kelvin Martin, nicknamed Kmart. Oh my, what a hit from Gary Jones. Unfortunately, Martin, while he was woozy, just a slight concussion. Not serious. What a hit.
The courage those receivers demonstrate in those situations. As I said earlier, I just don't know of a sport ever where people can take that kind of punishment and perform. Just the incredible courage.
Emmitt Smith is out, finished the day over 100 yards again, 109 yards and a touchdown on 32 carries. Berline just letting that clock run down, and will take a 5-yard delay of game, or did he call time first? Brett Cashin says he beat the clock by a second. There's Emmitt Smith, one of the stars today. We'll be back with our Avis Man of the Day in just a moment.
An anesthetic can slow down your reaction to pain. Anesthetics dull the senses, and it takes time for the effects to wear off. That's why patients aren't allowed to drive until after they've recovered. Alcohol can affect you like an anesthetic, with one exception. If you drink and drive, you could be under permanently.
Back in Irving, Texas, the employee owners of Avis salute the game's MVP, Michael Irvin of the Dallas Cowboys. This is 66-yard touchdown, his longest of the year. He had 8 catches today, 157 yards for the leading receiver in yardage in the NFL this year. And that is his 73rd catch of the season. And that's a career high from Michael Irvin, and a happy family, mother and wife watching and cheering today. The Dallas Cowboys, final seconds, defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-10. Thanks in the booth to Chris Hall and Jason Gear for their fine help. Jimmy Johnson's team still marching toward a possible playoff.